I secluded myself in my bedroom, and I just wanted to close the door and be left alone. I didn't want to be hurt anymore, and I was hurt because I was a different individual than other people. And most people who are different are rejected. Do you feel rejected for being different in school? Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about rejection. We've all been rejected at some point in time in our life, and I know that this is really going to help you. So what we're going to talk about is why we felt rejected. What was the source? What was the cause of the rejection in our life? So for rejection for me basically was this. As you all know, at this point in time, if you watched any of my other videos, rejection for me was I had learning disability and ADHD, Dyslexia. I was a very different person going in and out of special needs classrooms as a kid. But it doesn't always have to do with that. It can be anything. Rejection could come as a way of being different with people. You're different with your classmates. You're different at church. You're different with family, co-workers, a boss, faith, a spouse, or mother or father. And rejection is a very hurtful weapon that the enemy uses against people to belittle them. It can be a toxic thing, an everyday thing. Go to work and you can feel like you're this small. As for me, I had rejection in my life. I had rejection all the way through elementary school through high school. I felt rejection every single day in school. I felt rejection in the youth group at church. I felt rejection pretty much every single day of my life. I did have good days, but I secluded myself in my bedroom, and I just wanted to close the door and be left alone. I didn't want to be hurt anymore, and I was hurt because I was a different individual than other people. And most people who are different are rejected. Do you feel rejected for being different in school? Are you an outspoken person? Are you that person who's quiet? Do you surf the web? Are what is the rejection in your life that causes the hurt in your heart that you feel every day? Is it rejection from not feeling like you're good enough in school? Is it rejection from your parents? Is it rejection that you're getting through, church folks that you're not good enough for something? Family members can reject you for not being on the same playing field as they want to be. Going to reunions, going to special events. You're not in with the clique of the program, as you would call it. That is some of the rejections that I felt as a kid. I would think differently than other people. I remember going back in time, and I can talk about this now, but it hurt for a long time. I remember a kid in church. We went to a Pittsburgh Pirate game, and I remember getting off the van, and I was very, very shy at the time, and I remember I won't say his name because he could be watching, would walk over to me and say, "You're not wanted." And I know what that meant. I didn't fit in with the youth group, and I was the outcast. And that scarred me for a long time. He didn't realize what he did by coming over and saying that. And we were probably about 14, 15 years old. When you're that old, you really don't understand what you're doing to your brother, sister, friends, calling you a loser, as they would call you in high school, sitting by yourself in the cafeteria. You felt unwanted, unloved, and you just wanted to disappear, practically. You didn't want to exist. You wanted to be left alone, and you were tired of being hurt. You didn't want to go to school. You didn't want to go to church. You didn't want to leave your room. My room was my safe place. I would pop the TV on. I would listen to the music, and I was happy in there. And the moment I had to go somewhere that I didn't want to be, I felt I had to wrap myself in protection. And I was young. I didn't know anything. Why do I feel this? Well, it was the hurt of the rejection of living with ADHD, of having dyslexia, basically learning different from other people. And that can go beyond school and college. And it could go right into your marriage. It can go into any relationship. That if you're not in with the group or the cliques, you're not, they call it not being good enough. You're not, popular. If you're not popular, you feel rejected. Nobody wants to hang out with you because you're different. I had all that stuff growing up. And even as an adult, we suffer with rejection through even a job, going to work, and getting bad news. Your performance is not good enough, and you have to push, and you have to do, and you have to go faster, do this and this and this, and then that adds stress and anxiety, and now you're doing things to try to cope by drinking, anything to get that satisfaction that you're never going to get from a person or from a drug or alcohol. It isn't going to be. You're going to feel an emptiness in your heart over and over and over again. I took it to the Lord personally, and the Lord healed me. I had to release it, and it took a lot of crying, a lot of screaming, a lot of surrendering to the Lord. My hurt, because my hurt wasn't going to be satisfied in this world. It is not going to happen that way. Your rejection is a hurt that somebody hurt you in the past, made fun of you, came after you, belittled you. Belittling is like making you feel small. Somebody has a lot of ego, pride, and they're talking down to you like you feel stupid, you're not intelligent. That is what belittling is. We've all felt that I'm sure one time or another at work, like I said, a performance thing. Now, if you're at home, your siblings could be a part of that. Johnny isn't fast enough. Johnny's quiet. He's in his room. Leave him in his room. He's weird. We don't understand him. So a lot of rejection can come from just being, set apart. You're that person that just stays in a room or wants to be left alone. And the reason why is you just don't want to be hurt by people. I have lots and lots of scars on my heart from the years. I didn't understand why I couldn't be like everybody else. I was set apart, and possibly you were too. I was a very sensitive person. What happens is when you're a sensitive person is you're hurt easier. It's like having the best way to describe it is like having paper mache. Paper mache is very, very delicate, or a piece of fragile glass, real thin glass. You have to handle this with such delicate hands. You have to, the flour is very, very delicate. If you're rough with the flour, it's going to die. If you're rough with a piece of glass, it's going to break in your hands and cut you. Paper mache, after it forms, and turns hard, is just paper thin. You can break that, you can crush that, throw it up against the wall, it'll shatter. You can be shattered. Rejection is like being shattered in your heart. And, I felt freedom through Jesus. He healed me of that rejection. Now, let me go into that a little bit more for you, okay? He heals the broken heart. You're not going to find it in electronics, and I'll tell you what it is. It's a temporary fix to find it through drugs, through caffeine. I've done practically all of it. You're going to find to get healing through friends, activities, movies, working on things. But the problem is as soon as it ends, the rejection comes back, and it never truly leaves. Now, you could push it way down in your heart, but eventually it's going to resurface later on down the road. Rejection is also it can, if you've never forgiven the person who rejected you, or all the ones that rejected you, if you've never forgiven them, can turn into bitterness over the years, and then actually can affect your body. You can make your body turn sick, weak, and spiritual doors can open in your life, letting that demonic in to mess you up mentally. And what happens is you try to coat it with anxiety pills or depression pills, which are band-aids. They're not really meant to keep you sustained very long. You really need to be freed. And a lot of people turn to the physical realm of what we see in this world. What will make us do whatever makes you happy, do whatever makes you, whatever gives you pleasure, do it. And that's not really the right way to handle it, because that's not going to last. It's a very limited thing to have that. I took it up with the Lord years ago, and he's still working on me. But the thing about it is he's somebody that you can depend on, that will heal you through all your hurts and rejections from when you were born until now, or till you die. He can pull that out. He can pull that knife out of your heart. He can pull that knife out of your back. There's an invisible knife that you've been stabbed in the back with rejection from somebody probably very close to you. And what happens is rejection does something to somebody. And what it does is it takes the confidence out of you. If you are a confident person, baby, by yourself, okay, you're a confident person. But the moment you're around somebody who has this control, and they have this way about themselves that makes them feel superior, and you bow to them in a certain way that, okay, I don't want to fight with you, I'll do whatever you want. You're giving it over to them, and that's a controlling thing and a controlling spirit. But rejection is behind it. It's like you're afraid of confrontation. Even with a boss or a coworker, you could have this problem. I had all these problems growing up. I had all these problems with coworkers, jobs not being good enough, waking up with anxiety, terrible anxiety every day, dreading to go to work because did I do it right? Did I do it wrong? Am I going to get fired all the time? It's a constant battle in your mind. It is the battle of the mind, but you can be healed from rejection. Jesus loves those. He went after the lamb, the little sheepy, okay? He went after the one. He left the 99 for a reason, went after the one, because he cares about you so much. And you're not alone, because let me tell you, there's millions of people who have rejection. And I'm going to say practically every single person has been rejected one way or another on this planet. And they cover it up with whatever. And they come in with a smile on their face and, bless you, brother, bless you, sister at church, or how are you today? I'm perfectly fine. I'm great. And you're not. You're broken, and you've been rejected, and you're thinking, how am I going to get through this day? How can I do my job this way? And a lot of them are probably, high as a kite, on caffeine or whatever it's going to get them through the day, and they're hiding it through that smile on their face that they show you every day. And you think, oh, everybody's got it made but me. Let me tell you something. That's not the truth at all. They do not have it made, and they're all broken. I just wanted to let you know that, you're not alone with the rejection. There's a rejection in practically everything, and you can be healed of rejection. There's only one person that can do that. Jesus is the only person that can heal you, Jesus Christ. And if you give your life over to him, he can heal you. You just ask him to come into your heart and you can be renewed. No, is it easy living as a Christian on this world? Absolutely not. But can you get through the impossibles? Yes, absolutely, every day. And there's a joy that comes along with serving the Lord. There's a joy that comes along with being healed. And you have no idea how much he loves you. He loves you so much that he would leave 99 people and go after you all by yourself. Just think of that. Just think of that. Of all the millions and millions of people, he wants a relationship with you and me. That's why he created us. You have a specific gift, and he wants you to use it. And maybe that's part of this. Maybe the rejection is you have a gift that nobody's allowing you to use. I had that same problem for a long time. I was an artist, but I couldn't make any money out of painting. So what did I do? I didn't do it for money. I did it for the pleasure of handing it over to somebody because they enjoyed what I did. That's why I do what I do. So I hope that encourages you that you're not alone, that he's always there for you in this. And you can leave a comment below if you'd like, but rejection is something that you don't have to live with. There is healing involved in that, okay? And I guess I will see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.